Hey everyone, it's Javier Carlin, the founder of the New Grad PT Mentors and the creator of this group, New Grad PT Mentorship. And tonight on this podcast live stream, I want to go ahead and give you the greatest lessons that I learned in 2018. 2018 has been one hell of a ride. A lot of changes happened in the past year, and I want to go ahead and share that with you. I want to go ahead and share the things that I've experienced, the things that I've seen, the things that I've reflected on, so that hopefully it can actually also inspire you, and also allow you to see the world from a different perspective, a different lens, and hopefully. Will, what's going on, man? Thanks for jumping on. It's a pleasure to have you on, man. Thank you so much. Jakari, thank you for watching. Megan and Kyle, thank you all for jumping on tonight. So, as I was saying, a lot of amazing things that I learned this year. I'm going to go ahead. Kelly, thanks for jumping on. I'm going to go ahead and give you 10. I might have added an extra 5. Just because I've just been learning at an accelerated rate, and I wasn't sure which were the top 10 to pick. So I might have a few more than just 10, but I think they will be very beneficial for everyone to kind of just understand. And I'll go ahead and start now. So lesson number one is the importance of reflecting back daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly. This is something that I just started doing more recently, and I think it's changed a lot of how I look at my day, my week, my month, and overall just my life, right? Because a lot of the times we go through our daily interactions, we go through all these experiences, but we never really think about them and learn from them. So what I started doing, and I've talked about this in the past, I bought this high performance planner, and it allows you to do just that, right? So Jeffrey, thanks for jumping on, man. Appreciate it. So I have been stepping back. At the end of my night, I'll go ahead and reflect on my day. At the end of my week, I'll go ahead and reflect on my week. At the end of the month, I'll go ahead and reflect on my month, and I'll do a review. I'll kind of figure out, okay, what did I do well? What did I not do well? How could I have interacted with this person better? How could I have connected with this person better? How could I become a better leader? And really just thinking about those things that typically we don't even care about. If we look back at it, that's actually the only way that we become a better person, a better leader, a better physical therapist, a better everything. So that's one thing that I've learned this past year. It's just the power of reflection. Also, along with that, because I think it ties in nicely, is envisioning your future self, envisioning your future life, picturing in your mind what it is that you want from your life, what it is that you want your life to look like, what man, what woman do you want to become, and just start becoming that person now. Start acting like that person today. So that's number one. I hope that makes sense. Number two is fail and fail often. I think this past year I have failed a lot. A lot of the stuff I haven't put on here, but it's happening behind the scenes. Not everything is always perfect, and I think the more that we show that to you, the more that I show that to you, I think that's one of the biggest things that I want to do for you in the next year as I'm opening up a clinic in January is show you the good, but also show you the ugly, and how important that is. Because if we're not failing, that we're doing something wrong. If we're not failing, we're not pushing ourselves to really just do things that we're uncomfortable with. And we'll go ahead and add that one later on, being uncomfortable. But the fact that you're failing means that you're growing. The challenges that are put in front of you that you struggle with, that are obstacles and hurdles that we have to get over, are the things that allow you to grow the most. And really, you just have to step back and just learn from them. Do not judge yourself. Don't say, oh, that was stupid. I'm stupid. I should have done it this way. I should have done it that way. I'm never trying that again. I don't know why I even did that. Don't judge yourself. Learn from it because that is the only way we get better. So the more you fail, the more you learn. And when you have that mentality, you're allowing yourself to take more action that you wouldn't have taken otherwise. So go ahead, fail often, learn from your mistakes, and do not judge yourself because it's not doing you any good. So that's number two. Matt, thank you so much for jumping on, man. Number three, stick to your truth. Stick to your passion and do not hold back. I remember back in my third year of physical therapy school. I was very passionate about the things that I was learning. I was passionate about, smart success physical therapy, repping the shirt. I was passionate about that, and I knew that it had the power to change people's lives. I knew it because it changed my life, and it changed my perspective, my mindset on everything, on the profession, on my life, on my world, and I was so passionate about it that I was putting that energy out there, but it made people feel uncomfortable because they just didn't understand it. At the time, I kind of stepped back and was like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm not going to go ahead and tell anyone else about it. But that was the biggest mistake that I had made at that time. Trust me, it didn't bring me down for too long, because I kept at it. I kept on sharing my truth and my passion for what I was learning, and ultimately it has gotten me to where I'm at right now. And I'll go ahead, and this is going to tie into something else that I want to add later on. But yeah, so stick to your truth, stick to your passion. Don't let anyone hold you back. Put it out there. People, I remember reading this quote. They always, first people criticize you, then they laugh at you, and then they start watching from behind the scenes. And then maybe 3 years later, 5 years later, 10 years later, they start asking you for help. Or they say nice things about you. They start praising you. So do not give up on your truth. Do not give up on it, because the ones who are criticizing you are always going to be doing less than you are. There is no one on this planet who is doing more than you that is going to criticize you on the things that you're trying to do. They're actually going to encourage you. They might tell you, hey, you should try this instead, but they will never bring you down. So don't listen to those who criticize you. Do not listen to those who criticize you. Number 4, Andy, thanks for jumping on, man. Number 4 is, in life, you get what you tolerate. So you don't want to accept anything less than what you want. In life, you get what you tolerate. Any decision that we make, at the end of the day, it's because we chose to make that decision. Good or bad, it's on us. So don't settle for things that you don't want. Don't settle for things that seem, easy in the moment, that seem like the right decision, or just to make someone else, happy or content. Don't settle for that. Don't settle for anything else than what you want. Don't settle for that. A lot of decisions that I've made in the past have come because I felt obligated to, or I felt bad for the person, or I was like, you know what, I should just accept my situation, and I'm just going to go ahead and get what I can. F that. Do not tolerate less than what you want. Ask for it. And also, caveat, whatever it is that you're asking for, have something to back it up, have some results, have some skills to back up what you're asking for, and don't tolerate anything less than that. A lot of the difficult conversations that we have to have, the conversations that I have with my patients on a daily basis, the conversations that I have with my friends, my family, I've started to realize, and this is something that my mentor Greg Todd brought up to me, and it's so true. The greatest freedom lies behind a difficult conversation. The difficult conversations that you're holding back on having are actually the ones that allow you to be free from those things that are limiting you, that are holding you back from taking action. So have those conversations, live your truth, and move forward with that very thing that you want to do, that you've been wanting to do, but has been holding you back because of other people's opinions, of other people's criticisms, of your own inability to just freaking do it. So that's number 4. Number 5, my 5th lesson in 2018 is the power of working for free. Now, so this was last year. It started in 2017 once I started my new job, my first job out of physical therapy school. I had a lot of opportunities. Cash, thank you so much for joining on this live stream, man. I hope to see you at SSPT Live 2019. But started in 2017. I got my first job out of school. I was very excited. I was learning all this stuff about business and marketing, and this whole new world of online that I'm diving into more and more each day. I put myself out there, and I decided to implement these skills by asking my employer at the time if I could help her with, and I actually did this while I was in my clinical internship, my last one. But I started doing the social media accounts. I started managing those accounts. I started doing a lot of marketing, networking at different events, hosting workshops. I started doing all these things, and I wasn't getting paid for it. I wasn't getting paid a dime for it. But at the time, I had this mentality of like, hey, listen, I'm learning all these things. I know I'm not getting compensated for them at this very moment, but one day we'll get to that point, right? The the value of working for free, what it does for you and for your development of your skills, because if you don't have a platform to practice these things on, go ahead and help someone else with their platform first. Help them with it and develop those skills. Make the mistakes that you have to make. And then use that newfound knowledge, use that to kind of, implement the same skills for your own thing in the future. So for me, that happened for about 9 months where I was working for free as far as the social media aspect of it goes, as far as the marketing aspect of it goes. I implemented, text messaging platforms, email campaigns for my first employer. I didn't get paid a dime. But now, where I'm at right now, I'm opening up a clinic in January, and all those things that I learned in that year where I wasn't getting compensated for it, I'm actually implementing them again, and it's that much quicker. I'm a lot better at it. I know what mistakes to avoid. I know what to do. It's just, there's so much value in that, and I know it's tough at the time to do stuff because when especially when you're not getting paid for it. But when you go with that mentality of like, oh, I'm just gonna take this opportunity, I'm gonna seize it, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to make it succeed, and just learn from every single thing I implement. When you go in with that, it's invaluable, and I highly recommend that you guys work for free to some extent. Provide value before asking for anything. Provide value. Andrew, thank you so much for jumping on, man. Provide value, because a lot of the times we're so quick to ask for things, but we haven't provided any value. We haven't provided any results. You shouldn't be asking for things if you're the same as everyone else in the profession. If you're the same as every other new grad PT in the profession, why would someone pay you more for the same skills that someone else can give them for a cheaper price? Why? You have to learn things outside of your clinical skills. Provide value first, show results, and then ask for what you want. That's what I did, and it's paying off big time. So I highly recommend you do that as well. That was number 5. Number 6. So number 6 is saying no to the right opportunities at the time. So my first job, I actually, before moving to Tampa and taking on this new opportunity, I actually was asked to open up a practice in Miami. So going back, I actually started my own cash-based practice while I was working for my first employer. I was seeing like 6 to 8 patients a week. I was doing pretty good. And I was bringing in some extra revenue. So it was nice. It was very nice. I started implementing things. The things that I had implemented with them, I was implementing for myself. At the end, towards, I think it was April, May-ish, before I moved here, they asked me to open up a practice for a second location for my first employer inside of a CrossFit gym. I was very, I was on board with it. And I was about to do it. Ashley, thank you so much for jumping on. Katrina, thank you so much for jumping on as well. So I was set on getting this thing, open. I was going to do it myself. I was going to implement everything. But I stepped back and I realized that, hey, listen, there are a lot of good things that can come from this, but there are also a lot of things that I noticed that just weren't, it just wasn't matching up with what I envisioned. And I saw a lot of potential for things going south. The clinical systems weren't, the best. The people, I love them to death, but the people weren't as motivated to do certain things that you have to do when opening up a new practice. There wasn't a lot of learning and implementing going on. There was a lot of like scattered thoughts and ideas, and they wanted to do this and wanted to do that, and it just wasn't focused. And I was very nervous about that. So I had to say no to that opportunity and say yes to a better opportunity here in Tampa to learn from someone that is learning at an accelerated rate as well, and actually implementing things and is actually seeing results. So saying no to the right opportunities, what that means is you have to step back, look at it, don't make a decision within that excitement because we're so keen to doing that. Step back, look at the bigger picture, notice what you like, notice what you don't like, and make a decision based off that. Figure out what other opportunities are out there for you, and decide which one is the best for you. So with that said, I did not open up a practice in Miami. It was a poor system. I ended up taking a $20,000 pay cut to come here to Tampa, to accept a lower salary for 6 months to learn and grow in a winning environment. And I took the long-term approach instead. So I could have had that short-term gratification of opening up a practice in Miami, but I was like, you know what, F that. I want to do this right, and I want to do it right the first time around people who I know will push me forward and allow me to succeed. And that's exactly what I did. Tied into that one, say no to the right opportunities. I think this is super important. Is just being focused on 2 to 3 things in your life max at a time. So for me at this point, my top 3 is family. So family, including my girlfriend. Number 2 is renewal rehab and the clinic that I'm opening up in January as a partner. And number 3 is the new Grad PT mentors and this community. So those are my top 3 things that I'm focusing on in my life right now. So why does that tie into saying no to the right opportunities? That ties into that because if any opportunity comes my way and it does not align with those 3 things, I'm saying no to it. So once you kind of figure what those 3 things, 2 to 3 things are that you're focusing on, the ability for you to make decisions based off that, it actually allows you to make decisions a lot easier, a lot quicker. And like I said, if they don't align with your core 3, throw it out the window. I'll just say, sorry, you know what, this doesn't align with what I'm working towards. So I'm going to have to say no. And it makes it a lot easier to do that. So number 6 was say no to the right opportunities and focusing on 2 to 3 things max. Okay. Number 7, the best investment you will ever make. And we all say this, we all know it to be true, and our parents tell us all the time, yet a lot of the times they don't do it themselves. The best investment that you will ever make is in yourself. The best investment you will ever make in yourself. So I've learned this in the past couple years. I've invested so much in myself financially, obviously with PT school being the greatest one. So a lot of us have that big investment. But obviously that only gets us so far. So I think I'm close to $100,000 in debt for physical therapy school. I know a lot of us might have more than that. So that's a big investment that we made in ourselves, but it sets us up to have a nice, cushiony, secure financial future. Not so secure, but that's at least what we thought signing up, right? Then we get out of school and realize, oh shoot, I got a lot of bills to pay. I have my student loans to pay. I spent 7 years of my life, going to undergrad and then graduate school, and I have a doctorate degree, and this is all I'm getting paid. What? And then the nerves start, coming in, and we're like, oh man, I have to figure out like what can I do to, get paid more, but also work in an environment that I love and that doesn't drain me every single day. So aside from learning clinical skills in school and that investment, I invested in myself, during my last year of PT school. If you want to hear more about that story, go check out the New Grad Physical Therapist Success Blueprint podcast, where I go deeper into that story. But I invested in myself in SSPT, my third year of PT school. That was about $3,000, and now I just joined an elite mastermind group, which was a significant amount of money. But it's honestly in the last 2 to 3 weeks, it's allowed me to again realize I need to do this more often. I need to spend more money on myself more often, because any investment that you make on yourself and your knowledge and skills that will allow you to ultimately reach financial freedom and time freedom is a great investment. In my mind, time is much more valuable than money is. So if there's anything that I can do to buy me more time, even though I don't see it right now, if there's anything that I can do to buy me more time to really speed up the process, condense 10, 20 years into 3 to 5 years so I can get that to that level quicker, then I'm all for it. Take my money. I don't want to spend 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years trying to figure this ish out. I want to learn from the best. I want to learn from people who have done it already. I want to know what mistakes they made so I can avoid those. And I'm willing to invest as much money as I need to invest to make that happen. I think a lot of the times we have to really think about investments that we make, in ourselves, not, of an investment in a car or anything else that depreciates and doesn't really give us anything in return. But the investments that we make in ourselves, we have to think about the difference between price and cost. Price is a monetary value, right? That you have to give to get a service. Cost is the financial, the financial, how do you say, what's the word? Basically, cost is something over time, what it costs you in a lifetime. So the cost of me not making these investments in myself was ultimately going to be a world of hurt, a world of me not having skills that will allow me to make as much money as I want, me not having skills that will allow me that time for you to make, not now, but maybe in 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, as opposed to, when I'm 70, when I'm 80. I don't want to wait that long for the things that I want right now. I don't know if you do, but I don't. So that's the difference between price and cost. Cost is what it's going to cost your life, really. And when you start thinking about it that way, you're more, okay. You have a better sense of understanding. This is an investment that's very beneficial for me, and I have to make it now. So, like I said, like a lot of us are worried about spending, $3,000 for a course that's going to change your life. When we just spend $100,000 to be like everyone else in the physical therapy profession, and that doesn't really set us apart. I just spent $18,000 for a mastermind program, and I can already tell you it's been 100% worth it. A lot of you might think it's crazy, but this is what people think. This is how people think. The ones that actually make it and are very successful in life, and not everyone defines success in a different way, but the success that I want to reach, being able to spend time with my family, as much time with my family as I want to, my future family, being able to do things when I want to do them, how I want to do them, with who I want to do them, without anyone telling me otherwise. That's what I want. And I'm not saying everyone wants that, and you don't have to, but that's what I want. And that's why, for me, in my head, understanding what successful people do, that's what people do, is they invest in themselves no matter how much it costs. And I can say I don't have the money, I can say it's not the right time, but the truth is it's never going to be the right time. And that leads us to lesson number 8. The best time is now. The best time for any decision that you've been holding back on is now. As soon as Haley, thank you so much for jumping on. As soon as I got into that mastermind program, I was like, shoot, I should have done this like 6 months ago, but I said it wasn't the right time. I said, I'm, too many transitions. I'm moving to Tampa. I have so many things going on. It's not the best time. I should have done that 6 months ago, because doing things right now buys you more time. What was it about the mastermind group that made you confident about spending that money? Honestly, Megan, the craziest thing about it, and it's hard to understand unless like you're diving into it. The crazy thing about it is the accountability. And that was one of my extra lessons that I learned, is that accountability breeds responsibility. Unfortunately, we as human beings are typically lazy. We procrastinate. We struggle with these things, and it's everyone. So the very fact that I have the very fact, number one, that I had to put a shit ton of money into it, lit a fire up my ass. I was like, oh shoot, I better do something about it now, because I've made a massive investment. That alone is worth it. And I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. And you can ask anyone else who's done it, and it's a fact. Number 2, accountability breeds responsibility. I'm in a group of 40 people who are doing amazing things, and they've already gotten results. So just them investing that money as well and getting results from it, is eye-opening, because I'm like, man, like why didn't I do this 6 months ago? I could have been seeing the same results right this very moment. And the fact is that, meeting with people who have that same mindset and are just pushing you forward, and really, if you don't move forward, you kind of start feeling bad, and you're like, man, like I suck, like I need to be doing something. It pushes you to take action. It pushes you to make decisions. It pushes you to push beyond the fear. The live streams that I'm doing right now, I was scared, crapless about doing this type of stuff, but now I have to do it. I have to serve you. I have to impact more people, and I'm going to go ahead and jump into why that's so important, because I'll jump into a few stories, not too much into the stories, but I'll jump into a few stories about how that has, translated in the past year as well. But those are the types of things that I mean by it. And it's kind of difficult to explain because again, it's like a different way of thinking, and a lot of us don't have that yet. But it's just that within itself is everything. It's everything. I wasn't confident about making that decision right away. I waited obviously the 6 months to do it, and then I saw the success that everyone else was having, and then I tried doing things on my own, and I was like, you know what? I need some freaking help. I know what to do, but I don't know the order. I don't know like the best way to do things. I haven't failed enough where I know what mistakes to avoid. I'm just gonna freaking pay someone to tell me how to do it, and that's what I did, and it's been the best decision ever because now I'm taking action in a direction that I know is moving me forward, and that's gonna get me the results that I want in the next year, the next 2 years, the next 3 years. And I hope that answers your question. I know it's hard to explain, but the best time is now. I started this journey, of developing these skills that were not taught in physical therapy school. I started this journey 2 years ago. And now is when I'm actually starting to see the fruits of my labor, right? And that alone should allow you to decide like this is the best time because if you want, let's say you want to open up a practice in 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, it's not going to happen right away. You're not going to say, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it in a year. The year comes. All right, I'm ready to do it. Like you're not going to learn all these skills in like a week, 2 weeks, a month. It takes time. It takes time to develop these skills, to practice them, to implement them, to learn from your mistakes. And then once you feel confident in that, then you can go ahead and do your own thing. So the fact is that if you want to open up a practice in even 5 years or 2 years or whatever it is, whatever time it is after school, you have to start learning these skills right now. Because like I said, I learned these things 2 years ago and now I'm actually starting to see the fruits. I'm starting to implement them for something that I believe in, for a physical therapy clinic, and also for the online business. So that is the power of now. I think one of the quotes that I'm not typically a patient person. I like things done right away. Kristen, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Another mastermind member. Whoop, whoop. But I'm not I'm not a patient person. I've never been a patient person, and I know that's something that I have to get better at. But I live by this new term, impatiently patient. Impatiently patient means I know that these things take time. However, in the moment, I'm going to be impatient about it. I'm going to take whatever actions I need to take to make it happen as quickly as possible, knowing in the back of my mind that it still takes time. So that's how I live my life right now. I still work on being patient because I know it's super important. It really is. But that's why I truly believe that the best time for you to take any action, the best time for you to make that decision on that next step, on what you've been holding back on is right freaking now. Because you're always going to have an excuse for not doing something, and it's just going to hold you back in life so much. So just decide now, because you will never ever know what's on the other side unless you jump. Obviously jump into something great. Okay, so that was number 8. Number 9 is massive. The power of a team. So what does that mean? This means many different things. Finding your support team. So the people that you surround yourself with most. Again, going back to the mastermind, that is my support team. Going back to SSPT Nation, that is my support team. People who encourage me, who lift me up, who inspire me, who motivate me. You need positive people in your life. If you have a bunch of negative bullshit, you have to get away from that. You cannot allow people to drain you. You cannot allow people to put that negative energy inside of you, because it'll hold you back so much. You need a support team. And if you don't have that in your environment, like physically, you have to find that person, that group, that team online. And that's probably the number one thing that has changed my life, is finding that, because I don't know how I would do it without seeing other people win, by doing the things that I know I need to do, but seeing people do it, I'm like, hell yeah, I need to do this too. Why not? What am I waiting for? Have that support team. So support team in that. Support team with NGPT team. Like these people, these pre-PTs, all already invested in themselves financially through SSPT. Pre-PTs, I'm so jealous of them. Like everyone that I talk to is like, oh man, I'm so jealous of you. I'm like, I'm jealous of them. They started even before physical therapy school. That team that I have, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I'm doing right now if it wasn't for that team. I invest a hell of a lot into them. I'm teaching them the skills that they need to learn to basically become financially free if they want to. I'm teaching them how to create an online business. I'm teaching them how to create a freaking traditional business. If you're on here right now, go ahead and comment. Jakari, Matt, Elia, and Joey, you guys are freaking awesome, and I love you guys so much because you are truly amazing. I meet with them once a week for anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half. I mentor them one-on-one when they need it. I'm teaching them the skills that I learned. They're in SSPT, so they're also learning the skills through there, but I'm giving them a platform to implement it. And I told them, like, the main reason behind this is because I want you to be able to do the same thing, but I want you to practice on my platform first, and they go out and create your own thing once you feel comfortable that you can do it. So that's the second team. My third team is at Renewal Rehab. Amazing people. The environment is everything. I need to just, learn from them every single day. I need to invest in them. I need to teach them the things that I'm learning as well. And I think when it comes to team, it's obviously you always want to give more than you receive. Always want to give more than you receive. But find that team and find them now. Find them now. If you don't have a support group, you have to find them. And that's why I created this group for you as well, because you guys ask questions. Ask questions. Jakari, you know it. Woo! Let's go. So the power of a team, super important. Number 10, being comfortable with the uncomfortable. Like I said, I'm very uncomfortable doing live streams, or at least I was. I think I'm getting better. But being very, very comfortable with the uncomfortable. And thank you. It's a pleasure to have you on the team, Jakari. You're a freaking beast. You're in your sophomore year of undergrad, and you're freaking killing it, man. I'm so excited to see what the future has in store for you. Being comfortable with the uncomfortable. I think this is something big, and the reason I wrote this one down is because really the impact you can have on one person's life is truly amazing. I didn't realize that until this year when I heard two stories from people that I spoke to for a very long time, friends of mine, that if I wouldn't have had the conversations that I would have had with them, their life would be completely different. And I'm going to go ahead and this is the podcast live stream, and I interviewed Angelica Napolitano. She's one of them, but she saw the stuff that I was doing online, and at the time I was scared. I wasn't, I had no idea what I was doing. This was maybe a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago, not sure, but I was just putting stuff out there. I was putting stuff out there, the things that I was working on, the things that I was excited about. I was just talking about my life and my experiences like I'm doing now. And she saw that, and she was in a dark place, with her first job out of school. She was managing a clinic already, but things weren't going that great. She was frustrated, it was a really low period in her time, and you'll hear the story once the podcast comes up. But because I put myself out there, she started questioning things. She started asking me questions. She started reaching out to myself and my good friend Austin Wynn, and she ultimately ended up joining SSPT. 2 weeks into SSPT, she freaking opened up her own business. 2 weeks into it. 4 weeks after that, so 6 weeks into the program, she quit her job. Now at this very point, she has 30 patients a week that she's treating with her own business. How freaking amazing is that? And she told me yesterday the only way this would have happened was if you wouldn't have put yourself out there and just kind of put like the content that you were putting out at the time, like my life, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And that kind of like, it made me step back and realize that I need to start doing more of this, because if you can impact one person's life, if you can push past your fear, whatever that fear is holding you back, and just realize that it's not about you, it's about the people, then you're more willing to do those things for those people. Sharon, thank you so much for jumping on. You're more willing, like I said, take a step back, remove yourself from the situation, and think about the people that you need to serve, because you never know the impact you can have on one person's life. So that's one story. The second story, and you can go ahead and support her cause, is Farah and Gabe. I had a great conversation with them. They were pre-PTs at the time. They went to a workshop/seminar that I held on Rock Tape. I think it was sometime in January of last year. maybe in December, I think it was November, December of 2017. I spoke with them. They were very passionate, had a lot of energy. So I spoke with them. I'm like, hey, listen, we got to meet up. I met with them at a Starbucks for about 3 hours. I met with them for 3 hours. I listened to them. I kind of figured out, where they were at, what their goals were, what they wanted to accomplish, all these big things that they wanted to do. And they were already thinking about these things before even entering physical therapy school. And they asked me about, what I was doing. Obviously, I told them I was in SSPT and these are the things that I had learned, talked more about that. And the fact is that they actually ended up both of them joined SSPT shortly thereafter. It's crazy, but shortly after, Farah was unfortunately diagnosed with cancer, and she's been going through that recovery for the past year essentially. So the reason I bring that up is because after that happened to them, Greg actually refunded them the money because he knew obviously how much they were going to need it for her recovery. Mind you, she's very young and she was about to get into physical therapy school, had to put her dreams on hold because of it. But the fact is that because she was in that community, he kept her in the course because it was such a unique situation, kept her in the course. They kept the community of people. The support was amazing. Andrew Tran of Physio Memes created shirts for her, Fair Strong. Greg basically matched whatever we contributed to her GoFundMe. He put thousands of dollars into her treatments, into paying for her treatments. And he mentioned it to me the other day. He's like, listen, if nothing else, if you don't impact one person, one more person after this, you change their life because of your passion and because of you sticking to your truth. You're able to bring these people in to a community, a support group of 400 people now that showed them so much support, that donated and helped them out financially, but more importantly, mentally and spiritually and with everything else. And that support, during this time that they had, when they needed it the most, wouldn't have happened if you wouldn't have put yourself out there. And that's why I say, you have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, because you never know who's waiting for you on the other side. You never know who you can help. You never know who needs your help, who's dealing with the same struggles that you are, who's, frustrated with the same things that you are, who just needs another voice, another person to support them, another person in their corner to back them up. That's why it's so important, and that's why I'm going full force in 2019. So that's number 10. So, like I said, it was supposed to be 10, but I'm so fired up, and I have way too many things that I learned this year that I cannot hold back on you. I have to share an extra 5, and some of them actually are tied into the conversation that we just had. But number 11, the happiness formula. The happiness formula equals G to the third power. Happiness equals G to the third power. This is the formula, and it's actually the solution to burnout, and I'll go ahead and let you know why that is. So, H equals G to the third power. The key to happiness is 3 things. Gratitude, expressing gratitude for what you have on a daily basis. When you're grateful for something, you cannot be upset, you cannot be angry. You need to express gratitude on a daily basis for the things that have happened in your life, because those very things have led you to where you're at right now on this podcast live stream. Express gratitude for the things you have, because there are a lot of people out there who don't have the things that we have. Number 2, give. Give, number 1, to yourself. You need to take care of yourself. So give to yourself, number 1. Number 2 is give to the people around you. Acts of kindness, the little things that you don't think matter. People notice those things more than anything. So you have to give to others. Give to others. Those 2 things already are leading to happiness. Number 3, in my opinion, it's not the most. They're all equally as important. Without any one of these, it's hard to be happy long term. So number 3 is growth. You have to learn. You have to contribute. You have to grow, and growth only comes from challenges, things that force you to become better, that force you to push yourself. Those 3 things lead to happiness. Expressing gratitude, giving to yourself, giving to others, and number 3 is growing beyond what you think you're capable of. And the reason I say that that is a solution to burnout. Burnout happens when we feel stuck, when we feel like we have no control, when we're not growing, when we're not contributing. All these things lead to burnout. So if you do these three things, express gratitude and grow on a daily basis, you're very, very unlikely to burn out. Very unlikely. That is a key to happiness. It really is. And that's one of the main lessons that I learned this past year, and one of the main things that I'll be focusing on coming into 2019. So I hope that makes sense. Number 12, ask. Ask people. Do not assume. Do not assume anything. Ask and listen. Ask and listen. For me, I assume everyone wants the same things that I want. And it's just not the case. Not everyone wants to open up a business. Not everyone wants to, start an online empire. Not everyone wants, financial freedom. Not everyone wants time freedom. Some people say they want it, but they're not willing to do the things that it takes. And not everyone wants the lifestyle that I want. And I get it. It's completely fine. However, I didn't understand that until the last few months. I had to step back and really figure out what you want, what your goals are, what your biggest goals are, your biggest dreams are, what your biggest aspirations are, the things that you're struggling with, what your frustrations are. And that's why I created that new Grad PT career survey, because I need to find that out, because that's the only way I can help you. Not based off what I think you need, based off what you actually need. So ask, do not assume, and listen. Listen to the questions that you're asking. Listen to the responses that you're getting back. And this applies to your patients, applies to your family members, to your relationships with your significant other, to people in general. Ask, never assume, and listen. Take the time to listen, because you'll get a lot more from it. Okay? Number 13, we can always control how we see and react to any situation. We have a lot more control than we think. We talk about our patients shifting their locus of control from external to internal. We tell our patients to, really focus on the things you can control. Focus on the things you can control, and take ownership of it, because you have control, but we aren't willing to do it ourselves. We have a lot more control than we think. So step back and realize that. Step back that you cannot control all events. But you can control how you react to it. You can control how you see it. And more importantly, you can control what you create after it, from it. Okay, so think about that, because it's super important. All right, number 14 is we give up too damn easily. We listen to the opinions of people who are not where we want to be. We listen to a lot of people who say we can't do things, who say that we're not smart enough, that we're not, social enough, that we're not extroverted enough, that all these things that we're not, which is complete BS. All these things force us to give up too easily, because we're concerned about we're concerned about the opinion of sheep. And everyone has an opinion. Every single person on this planet has an opinion, right? But I think the only opinions that matter, or the only people who matter that are giving you those opinions, are people who are where you want to be, the people who have accomplished the things that you want to accomplish. Get opinions from them. Ask for their feedback. Ask for their advice. Don't listen to anyone else, because for me, for example, when I go out there and I'm asking I'm talking to my grandparents, or, a family member who maybe does not understand where I'm coming from with all this stuff, and I'm talking to them about my goals and my dreams and my aspirations, and I'm like, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to accomplish, this is what I'm doing online, and they don't understand. They say, you know what, just find a job, a 9 to 5. Again, it's not a bad thing, but this is what my parents are very supportive. My grandparents and other family members. Find a job, just have a secure job, with benefits and this, and just wait till you're 60, 65, save up for retirement and you'll live a good life. I'm like, hell no, I don't want to wait till I'm 65 to live a good life. I want to live a good life right freaking now. I want to live a great life right freaking now. And that's where the impatient part of me comes out. And then that's where the impatiently patient comes in. Okay, it's going to take some time. But do not listen to those people, because they have a different view on the world. The world that we live in now is very different from the world that they lived in, right? If my grandparents didn't accomplish a certain amount of success, why would I listen to them? It sounds terrible, but it's a fact. It's the truth. And if I'm willing to say that about my grandparents, who I love, then you should be willing to say that about people around your environment, your friends, family, your professors, your coworkers. Screw them. If they're not where you want to be, do not listen to them. Do not listen to them. Don't. It's the worst thing you can do. It doesn't even make sense. Like, why am I going to take, so it's like as a physical therapist or future physical therapist, asking a lawyer for advice on your patient's treatment. It doesn't make sense. He's not a physical therapist. He's not where you want to be. He's not educated in that. My grandparents aren't educated in success. They're not educated in time freedom. They're not educated in financial freedom. I'm not going to listen to them. It's that simple. But we don't do it. And this is something that I struggled with too initially until 2 years ago. So don't feel bad about yourself. Just understand it and accept it as truth because it's the truth. So don't give up. Don't give up. We give up way too easily. And that's where the support team comes. If it wasn't for, honestly, my intern team, if it wasn't for them in the past 2 months, I was like, man, should I even do this? Am I ready for this? Is this something I need to take on? Can I even lead a team? I mean, I can always get better, and I'm gonna keep on getting better. I'm gonna keep on providing fire, but I care about them. And I want the best for them. And I think with that alone, they realize that. I hope you realize that, Jakari, because I care for you guys so much. And without you, if I didn't have you pushing me forward, I wouldn't be doing the things that I'm doing today. So thank you again. I'm never giving up. Never freaking giving up from this day forward. Mark my words. Number 15. Megan, going back to what we spoke about before, accountability. So it kind of ties into the question you were asking. You need accountability. You need a mentor. You need someone who's going to freaking push you, because a lot of the times we're not strong enough to push ourselves, and that's okay, but we have to be willing to accept that. You need accountability. You need a mentor. You need multiple mentors, and that's what this group is about. That's what I'm about. I want to help you with anything that you need. Anything at all, hit me up. If you're curious about this SSPT, let me know. Hit me up. I'll tell you what it's about. I'll tell you if it's the right fit for you. If you're curious about what I'm doing, if you want to know how I'm opening up a clinic, how I'm doing specific things, if you want to know how I develop this mindset that I have now, what I do on a daily basis to stay in a growth mindset, just ask me. I'm here for you, and I'm here to keep you accountable. If you say you're going to do something, I'm going to ask you in a week, did you do it? Did you do it? And I'm going to keep on bugging you, because if you ask me to do it, I'm going to do it. And just with that alone, you have someone apart from yourself that you're that you're pushing forward because of. So everyone needs that. Everyone needs a mentor. Everyone needs to have someone there that has their back, that's in their corner. And like I said before, accountability breeds responsibility. So the fact is that if you're held accountable, you're going to be more responsible. And if you're more responsible, you're going to do the things that you don't want to do, even when you don't want to do them. And that's just a fact. And that's a fact. So that was 15. I probably have like 15 more because, like I said, you want to see this? This is crazy. I have books everywhere. Boom, books. I got more books, notebooks, everywhere. I'm learning at such a high level. Man, I'm going to go ahead and just take you with me. Check this out. Check these books out that I'm reading. Profit First, The Hiring Solution, The 1 Minute Manager. And that's just in my living room. I have a freaking bookcase in there. I'm learning at such a high level that I have so many things to share with you. And that's why I feel confident that if you need my help, I can help you, because I'm learning from the best. And with everything that I just talked about, I really hope that you got something from it. I hope that inspired you. I hope that motivated you. I hope that you see where I'm coming from with the posts that I put up, with the surveys that I'm asking you to finish up for me. All these things are just because of everything that I just spoke about. I need to learn more about you. I need to help you better. And the only way I can do that is by asking you. Asking, do not assume. I'm not here to play guesswork. I need to help you. So the only way I can help you is for me to find out what you actually need help with. So apart from that, that was the 15 lessons that I learned in 2018. I'm looking forward to 2019. It's going to be a massive year of growth, a massive year of purpose-driven action. I'm not stopping. I'm going to, serve you all to the maximum of my abilities. And I hope that you all, enjoy the journey, enjoy the ride, because I sure am. So So thank you so much, everyone. As always, you can feel free to reach out to me on my personal page. You can feel free to ask questions in the group. Feel free to contact us on contact@ngptmentors.com. Just reach out to me. Reach out to me. Reach out to anyone in this group. We're willing to help. We're here to help. That's what this is all about. And you shouldn't go at this alone.